Welcome to Sexy Stages, my show where I talk about video game stages, levels, and worlds that I find awesome. And today, we'll be taking a look at
Catacombs.
So Return to Castle Wolfenstein starts out as a seemingly normal World War II shooter. But then, you reach a stage called Catacombs. All of a sudden, the game ditches its generic World War II setting and switches it for an almost Egyptian dungeon-like setting. And as soon as this stage's opening cutscene starts, the mood instantly changes. There's blood and corpses everywhere, screams of pain in the distance, and a very, very dreadful ambience. Now, as you watch the Nazi soldiers desperately trying to defend themselves from what look like living corpses, you kinda get the feeling that you are probably fucked. And fucked you most certainly are. Thing is, these zombie-like fellows actually pose a massive threat, which gets immediately established when you see your previous enemies getting hopelessly slaughtered at the beginning of the stage. So, what the game does here is that it explains your current situation to you through gameplay rather than through cutscenes and atmosphere. Because as the game unexpectedly kicks up the creepy factor, it also massively increases its difficulty. And as many survival horror games have already demonstrated, creepy and difficult complement each other perfectly. Still, the game doesn't so much instill a sense of fear as much as it gives you a feeling of hopelessness. Like I said, you really are fucked. And because of that, you feel fucked. And the game mostly does that through gameplay, which is something I can really admire. But that doesn't mean that the atmosphere is bad though. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Thing is, the game ditches its generic military drum beats in exchange for some very broody strings and ambient percussion sounds. Not to mention that this place just looks really dark and evil, especially in contrast to how the rest of the game looks. Also, the sound design in this stage is pretty fucking good as well. Things like the bassy crackling sounds of bones bursting from the ground, or the fire burning in the far distance. And when it's quiet, there really isn't anything but your own footsteps to fill these large empty halls with sound. The game just all of a sudden confronts you with satanic gothic horror, complete with all of its eerie religious undertones. You see, these zombies are a product of the SS Paranormal Division. They were researching things like black magic, witchcraft, and exorcism, all in the name of creating the ultimate super soldier. And so they dug up these catacombs to look for some ancient tablets so they could resurrect the medieval German prince and his legion of black knights, only to have it massively backfire on them. But the creepiest thing about all this is that the Nazis actually had a paranormal division looking into black magic. And to top it off, a place like this actually exists in real life.